All right, to continue working on a Blender project, you simply double click on the Blender file right here. I have removed the DAE files and the folders just to prove that all you need when you've checked that little box that says include everything in the Blender file. This way, this Blender can be moved, turned in, opened on another computer, and it still has everything in it that we needed. So all the textures are still there. So let's talk about some of the other things that we'll need to do to make this look really good. So for rendering, we've got our render options right here. And notice that there is a resolution, an X and a Y resolution. By default, it's Blu-ray 1920 by 1080 HD. We could type in other numbers there. If we wanted something to render very quickly, though, we could simply reduce this percent and say, you know what, just show me a really quick render of what this is going to look like. And here is that render. Just took a split second, but it is, of course, if I zoom in on it, if I could, it's very pixelated. So you would just do something like that if you just wanted a really quick, like, what's the lighting going to look like? Make sure that you've got your transparency, that sort of thing. We wouldn't really use this unless we were trying to make a little icon or something of that nature. Let me go ahead and close the render results and show you that we can also double up here. So if I go to 200%, then it will actually give me an Ultra HD, a 4K render of this house. So if I press F12 again, I'm going to have to wait a little bit for it to make that much larger picture. But when you want a higher resolution image to put on a website or for printing or something like that, that's a quick way of just getting something that's a lot nicer. Let me go ahead and escape out of there and point out the fact that my SketchUp house didn't have this shade of blue. It was different. And changing the materials here in Blender is not too tough. We can just click on the part that we want to change. And you can see that this is everything that was connected here. This blue, it goes all the way around. That's the way trim usually works on house. And I can go to this button right here, which is the material properties, and it's going to show me the base color for those faces. And I can change those by simply clicking on the color and modifying it. So in fact, you could go with something totally different. Or you could just try and find that same shade that you were going for in SketchUp. You've got a darkness and lightness value right here, and then this is the hue right here. And so now it looks more like what I had in mind. You can also just try out different things. So it is very important to make sure if you want to select just the windows and have that be a certain color or transparency, that you didn't paint other parts of the house with it. If I'd used that blue on the door, then the door would have changed as well.